All right, hello everyone, and welcome back to the Cinema Wave podcast, part of the Culture Wave Media Network. I'm going to be one of your hosts today, Mark Jacobino, joined by Vinny Albano.
Hello, hello.
And we are talking about the new Chainsaw Man Reze Arc movie. This movie is getting so much buzz critically. Box office, it just passed 100 million. It's the number one movie in the world over the Bruce Springsteen documentary, which is amazing. And we're excited to talk about it. Vinny, it's very fitting that we're talking about an anime movie together. The last one we talked about was also a Fujimoto work last year. Look Back, which we both absolutely loved. You're a huge Fujimoto fan. I am excited for this conversation. You have read the manga. I have not. So we're bringing two different perspectives in. We're going to start out spoiler free, but then we'll give you the heads up when we're going to go into spoiler territory. But to start out, Vinny, did this live up to the expectations for you?
Oh, yeah. That's putting it lightly. All right. And I'm going to contain myself because to our audience watching, I'm very passionate about this. I'm very excited and super happy that a product like this was delivered to me. I am a day one Chainsaw Man manga fan. I've been reading it for years. I started reading it, I feel like at the perfect time in my life. And I've, literally been caught up to it week by week since then. Mm-hmm. It delivers in so many different avenues. I loved it. I genuinely loved it. I probably had one of, if not the most visceral theater experience, just body-wise, emotion-wise. Probably not emotion-wise, but just... to summarize, I had chills, literal chills, run down my spine a total of 5 times.
Wow.
And there was 2 moments where, unfortunately, the tears did not come out, but I was on the verge. There was water filling those eyes, and I love that. I love that. When I read this, I was a big fan of the arc in the manga, one of my favorite arcs I've read just as just entertaining, and I was more shocked when reading, but seeing this here and everything they did, from MAPPA and the composer and everyone that worked on this film, just elevate those emotions to the point where that shock is leveled with even another level of deeper emotion, like agony and sadness, and I felt it all.
Right.
And it's so beautifully delivered.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, they did a great job. The animation is, of course, fantastic. MAPPA is just on another level right now, with the run that they're on. The music, as you mentioned, Kensuke Ushio, I believe his name is. He did season 1. He came back here. He has some incredible pieces in this, especially the pool scene, which I'm sure everyone's talking about on the internet. So beautiful. And the action, I mean, they go probably the last 40 minutes is just like the most insane action you will see in the movie theater from animation. Really amazing. And if you were able to see it in IMAX, I recommend you see it in IMAX. The sound design is also incredible. I mean, Chainsaw Man, it's bombastic. The sound design has to be crazy. And the Bomb Devil, the chainsaws, the typhoon, all of it is crazy. I mean, they really brought it here. But for me, I mean, there's been a lot of glaze online, and I think it deserves a lot of it. But for me, there's a couple things that held it back for me. And these are not spoilers. So the first thing is Reze, the reveal, the twist. As someone who didn't read the manga and saw the promotional material and the trailers, there was no twist in the movie for me. I feel like if you were reading the manga, you probably didn't know that was coming. So when that scene happens, you're like, oh shit. And it's a great scene in the movie. I still love the scene in the movie. But for me, there was no tension in the first half of the movie because I knew the shoe was going to drop. And that's just, unfortunately, something that, for me, took away from the experience. The second thing, which I'm very curious your thoughts on, there's a big art style and art direction change from season 1, which I loved the super cinematic, grimy version of the Chainsaw Man story that they did in season 1. I thought it was super unique, and I thought it blended the darkness of Chainsaw Man in that world with the beautiful silent moments with the characters. It was really tender, and I just like how it kind of had that duality to it. I thought the art style change here kind of made it feel like any other anime movie, unfortunately. Not saying it wasn't beautiful still, but to me, I thought it lost a little something. And I know there was a lot of controversy with the art direction they took in season one. So I'm very curious, since this is a non-spoiler part of it, did the art direction change bother you, or did you like it? Because in the manga, I think people really wanted that like more color pop that they didn't get in season one.
Yeah. However, I'm gonna hold
Okay,
my response for that. I want to first address that first point you made because I think that's so valid. I think it was a marketing mistake. Honestly, they gave and Japan does this all the time. Japan literally just spoils the movie in all the trailers. Like every anime movie, it's like, all right, here's everything that happens in the trailer. And I don't know why they did that. I agree with you. I think it was a marketing issue because I actually went with one of my close friends. I brought a group of people with me to see the film. And my friend Owen didn't watch any of the trailers.
Good for him.
And he had the opposite. He said, oh my God, like I genuinely did not know. And he was shocked. So I do think it was a marketing issue, unfortunately. To address the art style, I don't mind the switch up. I'm very neutral about it because I do think there are advantages that I like in season one with that ultra cinematic direction. But I also, as an animation nerd and technical nerd, I think they made the right choice simplifying a lot of the art style because that allows for so much fluidity in these super bombastic sequences. And I still think they actually, and as a fan of the manga and seeing a lot of the colored pages that Fujimoto colors himself and the covers, it's a lot different than the season one art style, which I was missing. I was missing that kooky, like green blood, high violet, purple, right? And they mimic that a lot more here. So as a fan of his art in the book, I will say I did actually enjoy that switch up of the art style at times. But I will say I do at times feel that you do miss that hyper ultra cinematic at times. However, I think overall I actually am more approving of that switch up.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, I mean, it makes sense. Again, I think that's coming from me as someone who wasn't a manga reader, who's coming into it. I just took it at face value in season one. Like, I thought it made sense because the world was so grimy and dark. Like, it worked. But then there was also those pops of color. So, I mean, that's definitely just subjective, dealer's choice, however you feel about it. But as we talked about on camera, Fujimoto, huge cinema fan, so I thought it was a cool direction that they took season one. But yeah, I think those are the main spoiler-free thoughts. As you can tell, you know, if you haven't seen season one of Chainsaw Man, I highly recommend it. And if you watch season one, I don't know why you wouldn't want to check out the movie because it just is just as good or even better for some people. So, do you have any other spoiler-free thoughts, or you want to dive into the details?
Let's just dive into the details. I feel like enough people have seen the film by now, and if you haven't, go watch it. Go watch it.
Go see it. Go see it now. Keep those numbers going up because anime has made a huge splash. I mean, regardless how I feel about the Demon Slayer movie, the fact that anime now has 2 movies that are going to be in the top 10, 15 of the year at the box office, that's crazy. I mean, I think, you know, Demon Slayer beat Fantastic Four, Superman, like it's insane. So I love that animation, especially rated R animation, is getting such great support worldwide, and I want to see more of it, especially from Western studios. Stop making kids movies. Like, animation is for any age level. Like, make great stories, use the medium to your advantage. It's so good. There's so many possibilities. So
I agree. Not to go too much on a tangent, but like Flow was a film that could be enjoyed by any age group, and it's so incredible. Anywho,
international studios are leading the way with animation right now. It's amazing. So let's get into the details. We might as well start with Denji and Reze. Their relationship. It's really great from the start. They have a great comedic rapport with each other. Definitely got a couple laughs out of me. did they add anything to the relationship in the movie, or was there anything missing from the manga in the movie, or did they kind of like faithfully go 1-to-1 with how they come together, the the dates they go on and everything along those lines?
It's very 1-to-1.
Nice.
I feel like the only thing they really added was more action towards the later half, but everything with Reze and Denji is fairly accurate to the manga. Pretty much 100% accurate, honestly. And I think just overall, being the cinematic medium that film is, you get so much more from it. Like I said in my broad thoughts, I really enjoyed their relationship in the manga, but here you just feel so much more with the music and and how the visuals and how beautiful the visuals are with that combined audio delicacy and the voice acting.
Yes.
There's so much more here. I felt so much more connected to their chemistry.
Yeah, I thought they did a great job of that introductory scene, that he runs into the phone booth and he donated to the kids, right? The orphan kids. And again, really cool detail because, at the end of the movie you find out, she's also an orphan and she went through a very traumatic experience. So I like that was just like a little hint at the future of like her backstory. And yeah, she's just like immediately likable, but you also, if I didn't know she was the bomb devil, I would also be like, something's off here. And I'm sure in the manga you kind of got that sense, but you didn't know what it was. Like, is she dangerous or is she just a weird girl? There's a lot of weird characters in this world, so she could have just been weird. But it's sweet because Denji again is a 16-year-old, and I have to give him his credit because a lot of anime MCs are they just cry all the time and you feel bad for them, you get these tragic backstories, but Denji just moves forward and he's not always just like, oh, my life sucks. He's kind of just like, I get a good hot meal tonight. This pretty girl's talking to me. This rules. Like, this is awesome. And as the movie goes on, like, he gets his heart broken, but again, he doesn't cry. Like, he just like fights for what he wants. And that's really just like admirable. And I appreciate that he kind of goes against a lot of typical tropes with the anime main character.
Yeah. And to add on to just piggyback right where you left off, I could go on for hours on how much I love Denji as a character. Because I think Chainsaw Man as a series is very misunderstood. People are like, they literally have either never read it or never watched it, or they just have and they've experienced media at a very surface level, which is very interesting to me. Because people see the sexual side of it and they go, oh, this is just a horny anime. This is just horny. And I'm like, no. Denji is so misunderstood by the internet. I always say he's a smart character disguised as being dumb.
Right.
Just overall as just the way Fujimoto likes to write this particular series. And picking back where you left off, why I love Denji and Reze's relationship and how it plays such a pivotal part in not only this arc, but setting the foundation for everything moving forward in the series is the motifs and the parallels and how it all comes together. Like you said, she's an orphan too. And even the whole debate of the city mouse or the country mouse, how that plays into their interactions, and kind of also talking about the sexual element of Chainsaw Man, because it is such a pivotal part, is that it's the pool scene is an incredible scene. And they're both teenagers and they're naked in a pool and they both like each other. But it's not like sexual.
The sexuality is just like not a part of it. It's like the beauty of the relationship being formed.
Exactly. And I really, really, really love that. Because obviously he makes a funny joke. He's like, oh my God, like I've never seen like Nate, right? But but then we see how beautiful the intimacy really is, and it's more than just that. It's there's levels to it.
Absolutely.
And I don't really know where to because I can talk about a lot.
Yeah, well, I mean, like you said with Denji, I think it's pretty obvious, you know, if you have any form of like media literacy, that he is being taken advantage of by every single woman in his life, both, you know, the teenagers, Reze in this case, or the adults like Himono or Makima. Like, they are taking advantage of his arrogance to the world. Like, he just doesn't know how the world works. He's driven by sexuality, which, as a 16-year-old kid and all these pretty girls are coming up to you like this, like, yeah, of course a kid is going to act like that.
Yeah.
But he also kind of knows it's fucked up. Like, he knows, like, well, not with Makima, he's just obsessed with her, but he knows it's messed up with Himono when she's coming on to him. But, you know, he can't help himself. And I think it's an interesting, just like, view of our world that, you know, young men are typically coerced by sexuality, whether it's marketing, in media. They can get taken advantage of in different ways, and I think it's something that's not usually explored in media. It's usually young women, which of course is another issue, but I think young men, there's not a lot of representation like this. So yeah, I think it is such a crucial and interesting aspect of this series, and I'm glad they do go down this road, and I want to continue to see more with Denji. I'm so curious where his character goes.
Yeah. No, I 110% agree with you. It's so fascinating. It is so fascinating on every level. I keep going back to the pool scene. And also
so good.
it's so beautiful. It's animated so well. There's sweeping 3D camera movements within animation, which is not easy to do, and they do it beautifully. The score that is paired with it is so moving. And then I also think of the reveal of the Bomb Devil, how when she eats his tongue.
Yeah.
And that reveal, also, again, beautiful score. I love how the festival piano is then getting silent and more silent, while this distortion of like the shh, shh is getting louder, but you still hear it in the background. It's like this piano trying to like break its way through a wall almost. But those two moments are just so beautiful and just is pure examples of Denji's situation as a character.
Right. Yeah, I mean, he doesn't want to give up the life that he has, even though this pretty girl is like, let's run away together. Like, he doesn't want to give up the life, which is so interesting, because you would think, like, his fantasy would be that, like, oh my gosh, I'm going to run away with a pretty girl. I don't have any responsibilities, but he's choosing the city mouse life. Like, he wants the guarantee of a hot meal and just, like, you know, security in a way, which is interesting. But he also does like the dangerous side of life. Yeah, I mean, I do like that you brought up the scene where she does, you know, change, and we see that change in her, because I think something that maybe was missing in season 1, or something that wasn't translated from the manga, was, I thought season 1 was gruesome and it had a lot of body horror, but I think this movie had horror imagery and camera work that I thought was really cool. Like like when you see the camera coming down as she's like, her eyes are red and the whole background turns black. That was horrifying. Or when she is the Bomb Devil and she's eating that guy and she's hanging on the ceiling. Horrifying. Like, that imagery, I think, was different than season 1. I actually liked that they played that up a bit more. And then, you know, we have that terrible scene with the serial killer who's working with the typhoon devil. That whole sequence was horrifying. And then he's chasing Reze. Like, that guy, Fujimoto just loves putting that type of character in his stuff, and every time they show up, I'm like, God damn it, man. Like, he did it in Look Back. I'm like, no, not in this beautiful, pretty little movie, but he always does it. Yeah,
and it's I you know, there's a lot of things I want to talk about, actually, now that you bring that up. One, the rooftop scene just being an addition to also that horrifying imagery, and and the director here, Tatsuya Yoshihara, does such a good job at executing and directing all these scenes, and the emotion and how terrifying it all is. The rooftop scene, and also one of my favorite panels being animated, being the bomb devil holding the two heads in the headlights, right? It's like literally looking up, like it's so cool. But the rooftop scene particularly was such a step up. I mean, in the manga, I remember really enjoying it, but the plane flying overhead and the animation of her eye twitching, and it's almost like you could see that sleeper agent in her just activated, like
right.
And they do what looks to be like a slow shutter speed in animation of her, putting this dude in a headlock, and the Russian lullaby, which is something that I was really curious of how they were going to adapt. In the manga. It's in Russian, but it's not translated, and you would have to translate it yourself if you wanted to like find out what it means. But there were, at least in my viewing, there were subtitles for the Russian, and it's all so well done. I wish I had more vernacular to explain it, because a lot of this review is honestly just gonna be me glazing. I'm just like, oh, that was really good, but it really was so well done. And then the cut of the raindrop falling from the airplane and into her eye, but she doesn't blink,
right?
And it's like, oh shit, like literally like that sleeper agent got activated, and it's like, oh, we're on a different playing field now.
Yeah, it's definitely a movie I want to see again for a lot of these little moments that are probably better on a second viewing. The rooftop scene, there's definitely a lot of that rotoscoping, I think it's called, where you have very realistic movements. It's 3D, but like it still looks natural, and it very much reminded me. They did a lot of those shots. You remember in JJK season 2, where you have that shot of oh my god, I'm forgetting his name, Gojo's best friend.
Oh, Geto?
Geto in the shower. Remember after the and he has the hand against the wall and the camera's right in his face. It reminded me of that, and I feel like they took that, they learned from that, and they're like, we're gonna put this in the movie, and it's gonna be really unsettling, and it worked for both Reze and the serial killer guy. So yeah, it's interesting to hear about the Russian lullaby, because I was just hearing her sing it, and it was in Japanese, but it was reading as English, so I wouldn't have known that was that. But that's a cool like Easter egg, again, like alluding to her backstory without saying it up front, which I love when things plant seeds and then the seeds grow and then they come together in the end, and then you rewatch and you're like, oh well, that was a nice little nod to what was coming later. I do want to shift to Makima a little.
I was actually just about to bring that up.
We're here.
Yeah.
Makima is still my favorite piece of this series. Like she, no matter how little screen time she gets, she is so impactful every time she's on screen. And I love when a character is in the gray area. There is darkness, obviously. She's in the gray area, but it's not vague. Like you get these breadcrumbs that give you enough information, but they're not like, nebulous, where you're just like, I have no idea what this character is. Like you're learning more about her every little piece that they sprinkle in. And we only get 2 real scenes with her. We get the date with Denji to the movie theaters, and then we get the last scene, which is crazy. So the movie theaters, my interpretation of why she goes to 10 movies in a row with Denji, neither of them cry until the last movie. For me, is it Makima? Is Makima trying to see if she still has humanity in her? Because I don't know what she is. You know what she is, probably. I don't know what she is. And is she trying to remind herself and also see where Denji is, on a scale? Is there still humanity in them? Because it feels like empathy is a big aspect of this story. And if you don't have that empathy, you've kind of lost your humanity. And in that final movie, we do see she is moved by it. And so is Denji. So both of them, potentially both devils in some way or another. That's how I interpret it. I know you obviously have read the manga, kind of where the story goes, but what do you kind of take away from the movie scene?
Yeah, it's hard to say without giving blatant spoilers away.
Fair.
However, I was actually just about to ask you your thoughts.
There you go.
Thank you. Because why I say this arc and this film is so important, because the city mouse motif metaphor, the cinema, that is probably one of the most important moments in all of Chainsaw Man.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it just, I like it, and it's hard to say, but I just love when, like you said, seeds are being planted, and at the time you might not even notice how big they are until they're paid off, and it's like, oh, that was cool.
Yeah.
And I think overall, without saying anything, for both Denji and Makima's character in that moment, it is pivotal and really sharply done without it being like a huge, it's all done show don't tell, right? Like it's not, they're not exposition dumping, we're not getting, it's not a big action sequence, it's a very intimate character moment that will pay off.
Cool. And that's what I loved about season 1 is those intimate character moments where there was just show don't tell, so good. You know, if you're new to like film or new to just like storytelling, nothing is ever for no reason, unless it's a bad show or movie. Like unless it's a bad show or movie and they're just filling time, but everything has a purpose in good stories. So I know some people might have watched this whole date and they were just like, I don't really know why that was in here. That feels like not necessary, but just know, you know, when you're watching good storytelling, everything means something. So I'm very excited to see where this thread goes.
And I plead the fifth.
This is very hard, but we'll leave it at that.
I think they really did execute it very well.
Okay,
I will say that. I mean, the animation throughout the entire film is beautiful, and the music again beautiful, and that scene is really, really done really well. I think voice acting too. I saw it in Japanese. I think all the whole Japanese cast, especially in that moment, it's just tremendous. It's so tremendous. It elevates the source material to a level that I thought I wasn't expecting, honestly.
Yeah, well, Makima is just so seductive and also intimidating all at one time, and you just can't get that from a manga. I mean, you can get a piece of it, but like here you really, I'm sure like the first time you heard her talk in season 1, you're probably like, that's it. You guys got it. Let's move on to 2 more characters, Aki and Angel, because they're kind of the B. Okay, they're kind of the B plot of this movie. You know, we get these little vignettes of like their partnership coming together. And they have a very poetic relationship, you know, life and death, like very, I like it. I appreciate it. This movie for me, it makes me excited for the future of their relationship, but I thought it didn't hit me as hard as I wish it did. You know, that final moment where he saves his life. Like, I wish that hit a bit more. I feel like that relationship, it maybe skipped a beat for me, at least between the scenes. Maybe I need to rewatch it. Maybe I missed something. But for me, I feel like their relationship formed a little quickly when I feel like they were on 2 different sides of the spectrum when that person's dying and Aki had to put him out of his misery, and Angel's like, no, I like watching humans suffer. And I feel like that was like the last scene before Aki decided to save him. I know Aki has a savior complex because he's always losing his partner. But that's just my thoughts on it. I am excited to see where their characters go because I think Angel is very, very interesting. How did you feel they did with this?
So I love it.
Yes.
I love it. I'm also biased. I will say I am biased. I'm a huge fan. I think the Aki Angel dynamic in Chainsaw Man is the most underrated dynamic in the series. Because I am a big fan of ironic storytelling. I think irony and clever irony, especially when you have a reason why I love a lot of anime, is because they take place in these super fantastical power systems or worlds, and they they use it for dramatic irony in situations in a serious way.
Right.
Serious situations, right? But on the surface, maybe a boomer would look at it and be like, oh, this is stupid, right? but it's that fantastical irony delivered to you dramatically.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I will say, I personally, I love it, and it's to talk about your claim of how it kind of felt rushed and felt like it wasn't earned.
Yeah.
Which I feel is a big critique of just Chainsaw Man as a series, because a lot of Chainsaw Man is super nuanced and it's fast paced. It moves like that. Yeah. I mean, part 1 of the manga is only 80 something chapter, or maybe like 90 something chapters. And some chapters literally don't even have dialogue. It's just like, you'll read it in a minute. I personally love it because I come from a screenwriting background, and in screenwriting, all about show don't tell. And in film, showing relationships through just like glances and super nuanced storytelling, I feel some people might not like it, and that's a critique to Chainsaw Man. And I feel that it is delivered particularly through Aki and Angel here, where in my opinion, I think it's there, but it's not directly told to you.
No, I think it could definitely be a second viewing kind of thing where I would notice it more. And I'm also go ahead.
Yeah, no, but you are valid for feeling that way, though. I will say you are valid for feeling that way. You can continue.
I think maybe if they leaned into the season 1 art style, as I talked about earlier, like I feel like season 1's art style, I think those character moments came across a lot more for me personally. So maybe the shift to a new art style, those little glances like you were mentioning, maybe they didn't stick out to me as much as when they did the cinematic version of it. But again, like the more I think about it, the more I do understand why it's show don't tell, because it was kind of the same with like Aki and Himono. I mean, there was some attraction there, and they, one was always trying to look out for the other. So I understand that, like, deep down, Aki has like a very, like, he has a protective nature to him, even when he doesn't want to be. Like, he almost dies for Denji, like, in the hotel, just because he thinks Denji can help him kill the Gun Devil. So I understand that in that moment, he might see Angel about to die, and he's like, that's my partner. I instinctively have to save them. Or it's, he can help me kill the Gun Devil as well, so I'm going to save him in that moment. And it's just an instinct, and it's less of a, they had a good conversation beforehand. Now he wants to save him here. So I do understand that, and that's why I am excited for a rewatch and whatever happens next with them.
Yeah, and that's very valid for me too. Now, this is up to interpretation because some people might disagree. I like to believe that romance is forming between Aki and Angel in this moment. That is my headcanon. I have reasons to believe that there is romantic interest from this point forward. Some people will tell me, they'll be like, dude, you're right, whatever. This is what I believe. That is my interpretation. And again, going back to the irony, like you said, that savior versus the angel, but the angel being a symbol of a devil, right? The angel of savior, but then that angel being someone who directly delivers you to death and all of that. And then on top of that, why I mentioned the romantic interest being, how do you show affection to someone that you can't even touch? And that moment that Aki does that is so powerful to me in my taking of everything, So that's how I feel.
It's a good point, and I mean, it might change Angel's worldview because he's very nihilistic. Like, he's just like, I want to die as soon as possible, and obviously in some way Makima is pulling the strings to keep him alive or something, some way, somehow, I'm not sure, because we see throughout this movie that she is using all of these special devils in specific ways. She has Beam following Denji because he wanted to be his partner. Not really. She knew that Denji was in trouble and she wanted someone there. So yeah, it is cool that they're setting it up. I do agree. The shot of Aki embracing him after saving him, I'm like, that had a little more to it, you know.
Yeah.
And we get that funny scene where Denji imagines Angel in like lingerie. So I mean, maybe it's coming, I don't know, but that'd be cool. I would like that, because Aki has like 2 years to live. Angel, I don't really know his lifespan, probably eternity. But that love, how far can it go?
Yeah. And I want to, if you don't mind, pivot the conversation towards the climax, the big action sequence.
Do it.
I just want to know your thoughts, everything involved, because you mentioned Beam. Beam is so goated. He is so goated. He fucking takes multiple bombs.
He does.
And he also saves the movie at the end of the day. Without him, they would have drowned. And they probably would have been dead. But Beam he's such a great guy. Love that guy. And then also, if anyone doesn't know, it's a Sharknado reference.
Is it?
It's a Sharknado reference, right? Sharks in a tornado, which I think is super cool.
Classic Fujimoto humor. Beam was cool. I couldn't unhear Tanjiro in his voice, because I think it's the same voice. I think it's the same voice actor. So like I heard Demon Slayer with him, which is funny. But I mean, he's a ride or die. He's a cool guy. I like sharks. The action overall, it felt very similar to the Sukuna Maharaga fight, because it was kind of, across buildings, through buildings, debris everywhere. It gave me like very similar vibes. I feel like MAPPA took a lot of things that they learned from JJK season 2 and applied it here in this movie. I thought the action overall was really cool, really, really dynamic. I think it maybe, I hate being the stick in the mud. I feel like it might have gotten a little tiresome at one point, because the Bomb Devil only has one move, so all she's doing is just like explosions flipping. I liked when they changed it up in the building and you get that like infrared look at Denji and her fighting. That was really cool. I think there was just like 30 minutes into the fight and she's just still like flicking bombs. I'm like, all right, I need a little change here. But the typhoon thing was really cool. Like that song that plays when he's like just riding the side of the typhoon and the blood just goes super sick. Really dug that. I hated the Typhoon Devil. I hated that one. So I hated the devil, because they just had no allegiance to anyone. They're like working with the serial killer, and then they almost kill Reze, and they're like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, Lady Reze. I'll work for you now." And I'm like, I hate those people.
Yeah, I will say something I do like about, and you mentioned it before talking about season 1. It's a dark world.
Oh yeah,
and a big message of Chainsaw Man is the world itself is super nihilistic. It's a world where death is basically a definite every day. Right? Like thousands of people dying every single day, and you have to accept it. And you have to kind of accept that you're going to die, especially on public safety, you're going to die any moment, right? And he's not afraid to kill off characters like that. What I love about what you mentioned about Typhoon, the serial killer, everything, multiple things that we've been talking about throughout the entire movie, this episode so far, how it emphasizes how cruel this world is. And Denji being the protagonist of you use the term stick in the mud, but Denji, not related to what you were talking about when you said that phrase, but Denji is a stick in the mud. Because he's he is very optimistic, but everyone around him is terrible, and the world is so soul crushing. And I personally, I love how you have these really like just almost anarchist characters, right? Kind of. Devils, and that just have no allegiance, and they add to the chaos.
Yeah, no, I mean, definitely. It's it's every man for themselves in this world. Like, no doubt. That is definitely front and center with this story. Let's work to the conclusion here. So we have the final showdown with Reze and Denji, nice and thematic and circular. They're back by the water, their relationship budded in the pool. Now it ends in the water. How did you feel they did with this with this adaptation of that scene, because I feel like in the manga, I haven't read it, but you know, water seems like a very difficult medium to work with, and I'm wondering if this like really elevated what Fujimoto did on the page.
I think it did. Yeah. Again, I'm gonna go back to the score, because the fact that they have that motif in the score come back, that pool scene, but now it's quieter, it's slower, and it's beautiful. It's genuinely beautiful. I love the moment on the beach when she walks away.
Yeah.
Because in that moment, you don't know, like, oh, wait, so she did take a liking to him. And is she going to return? And the irony of the ending scene, which is, again, like I said, I read it in the manga, I was shocked. Here, I was emotional. I was genuinely holding back tears because everything they do here, and the irony of having Denji wait, and he thinks that she never comes, and she dies thinking that he set her up.
Oh, I didn't even think about it that way.
Yeah.
Oh, I have to. Does she say something along those lines?
No.
Or you think that's just
no, but it's inferred.
Oh, okay.
Right, because she says earlier in the movie, "Oh, you're in the palm of that woman," when referring to Makima, and she's like, "You have to break away," and he refuses. So, my interpretation of that scene is just that of she dies thinking he set her up, and he lives thinking that she didn't reciprocate those feelings.
That's tragic. What got me in that scene was that he had like a whole bouquet of flowers. Like it started with the one flower, and then and you just see it through the window. I'm like, oh, that's sad. Yeah. It kind of goes back to what I was talking about with Aki, like these instinctual like decisions that characters make without even thinking. He thinks to save his partner immediately, even if he doesn't particularly like his partner. She never had love. She was obviously a Soviet like sleeper agent. Yeah. She was turned into a devil. She has no human connection. And even though she was sent on this mission to do a job, there was something there. And instinctually, deep down, she wasn't thinking about it. Just instinctually, she made a connection to him because he was interested in her. And I think, again, it's one of those show don't tell things. Like in the end, that's kind of that just came out of her, and she didn't even think about it.
Yeah.
And that extra layer that you just added, that she thinks she was set up, is super brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great final scene.
It's incredible. It's genuinely incredible. That was a moment where chills ran down my spine. I had an emotional reaction. And then there's so many moments where they bring back the imagery, they bring back the metaphors.
Yes.
Not to go back to the climax, but when she's bouncing all over the place, and then they animate the bombs as fireworks. And I was like, yes. Oh my God, that's beautiful. That is beautiful. Knowing the context of like, they had that super remote romantic scene of them, watching the fireworks and enjoying the festival. So yeah, I think the elevation of the source material is, I know I sound like a broken record at this point, but it's beyond me.
Yeah. I love the way that they kept bringing back Aesop's fable of the country mouse and the city mouse, and we can maybe end with this discussion. We kind of get every character's worldview. Do you want to be the country mouse who is safe but maybe doesn't have food every day, or do you want to be the city mouse who's always watching their back, is dangerous, but they always have the best food, the best living conditions? And I think Fujimoto, and I just kind of drew this parallel with Look Back, the dangers of the world. Is it worth it to go out there and experience the world knowing that there are a lot of dangers out there? And I feel like in his work, we see like he is very much on the side of the city mouse. Like even though the world is nihilistic, it's dangerous, it's anarchic. There's anarchy. I'm not even going to try that word again. There's anarchy. It's still worth that risk to go out there and try to be something or try and do what you want to do. And I thought I love when themes are circular. And then Makima, of course, in her brutal way, is like, I like the country mouse because they're easy to trick and murder and kill. And I'm just like, jeez. Yeah. And I liked Makima just like in general, this whole movie, again, she was the puppeteer. Like, she knew this was going to happen in some way.
Yeah.
And she set it all up, and she just took out one of the Gun Devil's, like, right-hand woman's easily, in her sense, pretty easily.
Yeah. That's perfectly well put. I think that's a beautiful way to end our episode, unless you have anything else to say.
I think we did it all. I think it's score time, unless you have any other thoughts.
I do have two thoughts, two things I do want to say.
Rapid
I
fire.
actually
Hit
have
me.
a critique.
Ooh,
I do have a
there
critique.
you go.
I don't
Avoid
think
me.
it ruins the film for me, but my biggest critique was the final edit of this film. And I wrote this in my Letterboxd review. There's a lot of cuts to black. There's a lot of fades to black, and I have a feeling, I'm predicting, I might be wrong, I have a feeling I know why they did that, because Japan likes to milk their products a lot, and they are going to re-release this like they did Mugen Train. They're going to re-release this as a season of television, and each of those fades to black was an end of an episode. That is my prediction, and I do think those fades to black ruin the pacing at times. Because all of a sudden, we're in a great scene, and it's just... And I'm like, you could have just did a regular cut. You could have just did a regular cut. Like, I don't... That it was not needed. That is my critique. And then also my second thing that I was gonna say is how awesome was the invasion of the public safety building, where she takes her own head and makes it a vault. Like, so creative. I love that whole sequence.
Yeah, the powers again are like ridiculous. It's like those two guys, like they like have a contract with like the mold devil or something, and they're like bite their arm like Aaron Yeager style and go like mold, and then they're like, yeah, even if you like try to regenerate, you still have mold, and she just pulls her pin, blows her head off, runs. It's very creative, very cool. Yeah, I like that scene a lot. It's very scary, for sure.
Yeah. Do you wanna? I want to hear your score. Unless you want me to go.
No,
first,
I can go score first. Letterboxd, I was just like tumbling trying to think of a score. Scores are so tough. But I think I'll sit at an 8. I'm happy with an 8. I enjoyed this. Like I said, those two things like just held it back for me: the art style and the lack of mystery and tension because of the marketing of the movie. But yeah, it makes me excited for more Chainsaw Man. I think we get good breadcrumbs about the world of Chainsaw Man. And that's where I'm at.
I'm a glazer. I'm giving it a 10.
Wow.
I'm giving it a 10.
10.
I said what I had to say. I feel let me just reread my notes per se. Did I miss anything?
I saw the Letterboxd 5-star and I was like, he's probably gonna go 10, right?
I'm giving it a 10. You know, I think I covered everything that I wanted to say. The significance of these moments, the irony behind the storytelling, the dynamics, all the character moments, and the ending is just wow. You know, just beautiful.
Yeah, Angel gets the last shot, which again is very interesting. Might set up, his involvement in the story moving forward as a more main character, potentially.
Did you see the post-credit scene?
I did, with Power, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's cute.
Yeah.
was there more to that? Or is that just like a fun moment? Or are we setting up that Power and Denji are now going to be a thing?
Oh no, not at all.
I didn't think so.
People who ship that, no, get out of here. Because they're like brother and sister.
That's kind of what I was getting.
However,
oh boy.
Right?
Oh boy.
No, just a food for thought.
Mm-hmm.
Power, we start the movie, and Makima's like, oh, I have to drain her blood. And Power is terrified.
She was horrified. Yep.
I don't know. Just food for thought.
At the end of the movie, she had less horn, right? Like the horns were gone? Yeah. Yeah, no, I picked that up. I was like, how'd you get that blood out? Where'd that blood go? Yep. Okay. Yeah. I didn't expect the end credit scene, but we got it, and I was like, okay, cool. That was nice. But like you said, there was a reason it's there, probably to just kind of give that hint of information. But there you go. There you have it. 8 and 10. Definitely worth checking out. Chainsaw Man, Reze Arc. I hope it's not another 3 years for the next season. It might be. I don't know. I hope not. But definitely let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Let us know if there was anything we didn't bring up that you really loved about the movie. If you're glazing it, keep glazing. It earned it. It earned it. Demon Slayer did not earn it. I will die on that hill. But yeah, definitely check out some other stuff we have on the channel. We're covering anime, but we're also covering everything in live action. We're in the midst of festival season, so a lot of movies are being covered right now on the channel. Follow us on all of our social medias. It's in the description. Like, subscribe, do all the YouTube things. And yeah, thanks for watching. I've been Mark Jacobino.
And I've been Vinny Albano.
And we'll see you on the next one.
This is the culture.